Hey everyone, I am Reed. I am 27, just an average. Dude, I've made tons of money mistakes in my 20s, and now I want to share everything I've learned to help you take control of your finances and your life. So the last video I did about my side hustles blew up way more than I expected. Seriously, the response was crazy, and I just want to say thank you to everyone who watched, subscribed, left a comment. That was by far the most popular video I've made on this channel, and it really showed me that a lot of you are in the same boat, trying to figure out how to make more money and take control of your financial situation. So I had to do a follow-up, consider this part 2, because I have way more to say about this topic, and I want to go deeper into the mindset behind why I even bother with side hustles in the first place. Let me give you some background first. I work as an engineer. It is a solid career, pays well, has good benefits, looks great on paper, and there is this assumption that once you cross into six figures at your main 9 to 5, especially in a field like engineering, people just assume you've made it. They think, oh, you are good, now you can relax, you can ease up on the gas pedal, let that ambition settle down a little bit. Finally, just clock in, do your work, clock out, and live comfortably without ever thinking about money outside of your 9 to 5. And honestly, on paper, that sounds reasonable. A six-figure salary in 2025, 2026, whenever you are watching this, is really good money. It puts you way above the median income, it gives you stability, it covers your bills, and then some. But here's what I've realized over the last few years that I don't think enough people talk about. Your sole 9 to 5 income alone is not enough if you want to unlock your full earning potential. And I don't say that to sound greedy or like I am chasing some crazy lifestyle. I say that because a 9 to 5 by its very nature is limited. You are trading your time for money. There are only so many hours in a day. There is only so much your employer is willing to pay you. There is a cap, and unless you are climbing the corporate ladder, which can take years and has no guarantees you are stuck within a certain income range, that is just the reality of working for someone else. So if you really want to unlock your full financial potential, you need to be thinking beyond that paycheck. You need to be building something on the side. And for me, that is exactly what I am doing in 2025 and 2026. That is going to be my strategy going forward. And the thing is, once you start seeing your income through that lens, it is really hard to unsee it. You start to realize that a high salary is powerful, but it is only powerful in proportion to what you do with it outside of your job. Think about that for a second. If your high salary just funds a bigger lifestyle, if it just pays for a nicer car, a bigger apartment, more dinners out, and subscriptions, you don't use, then you are still stuck in the same cycle of being financially stuck. You are just financially stuck at a higher level, and I know that sounds harsh, but I've been there. I've been that guy before I started getting serious about my finances. I was making decent money, and I was spending every bit of it. I was living paycheck to paycheck, just at a higher income bracket. So that is really where the motivation for my side hustles comes from. It is not about hating my job. I actually like what I do. It is about converting active income into leveraged income over time. And I know the word leverage gets thrown around a lot in finance spaces, business podcasts, YouTube videos, all that stuff. But most people never really define it in plain everyday language. So let me break it down the way I understand it. When I talk about leverage, I am talking about your ability to produce income and results without your direct time being required for every single dollar you earn. It means you build businesses or assets that keep working even when you are sleeping or eating or hanging out with friends. It means you have systems, digital products, investments, or even employees that generate output on your behalf. And that is the goal, right? I want things that continue producing money for me. Whether I am on the clock or not, I want assets and systems that don't require me to physically be present every hour of the day trading my time for cash. And look, I want to be clear about something. This is not coming from a place of dissatisfaction with my career. I am not complaining about my job. I am not saying engineering sucks or that I am miserable. None of that is true. This is coming from a place of thinking long-term about how I want to restructure my financial life. My engineering job right now is the engine that funds everything. It pays my bills. It funds my side hustles. It lets me invest consistently. It is the foundation. Without that stable income, I wouldn't be able to take the risks I am taking on the side. So I am not trying to escape my 9 to 5. I am trying to build on top of it. I am trying to create multiple streams of income so that I am never in a position where one layoff or one bad quarter completely destroys my financial stability. Because that is the reality for so many people. They have one income stream, and if that stream dries up, they are in serious trouble. And beyond just the financial peace of mind, there is another layer to developing a side hustle that I think is even more powerful if you are intentional about how you use it. A six-figure job, when you are managing your money correctly, gives you something that most people earlier in their careers don't have yet, and that thing is cash. Cash to take risks. A high-paying career gives you the ability to invest consistently without stressing about whether you are going to be able to pay rent or buy groceries. That is a real blessing. And that is why in my previous videos, I always talk about how much it sucks in the beginning, but you have to find a way to build up a little cash buffer and get out of the zone of living paycheck to paycheck. Because if you are living paycheck to paycheck, you are going to get stuck real fast. It is a really tough hill to climb. Every financial decision carries weight and risk. Every dollar you spend feels like it has to produce a return or it is going to create stress for you. But when your primary income can comfortably cover your lifestyle, you can build side hustles from a place of patience and a long-term mindset instead of a place of desperation. That is exactly what I am doing right now. I am taking calculated swings without panicking if they miss. I can reinvest early profits from my side hustles, whether that is through Rover or this YouTube channel, and put that money back into the business instead of pulling it out to pay bills. For example, with this YouTube channel, once I get monetized, I am going to reinvest that money into better equipment, better editing, maybe even some mentorship. I want to look at ways I can get more productive and keep improving the quality of what I am putting out there. I want to build something that is sustainable for the long haul, and the reason I can think that way is because my essentials are already covered. My 9 to 5 takes care of that, so I can afford to think in multi-year timelines instead of month to month. That is how I view the current phase of my life with my side hustles. I am playing the long game. Let me share a personal story to illustrate this. Back when I was in my early 20s, I was broke. I mean, truly broke. I was using credit cards to get through the month and paying minimum payments and watching the interest pile up. I had no savings, no emergency fund, no plan. I was just surviving. And every time I thought about starting something on the side, like a small business or a freelance gig, I would get paralyzed by fear. What if it fails? What if I waste money on supplies or tools and then I can pay my bills? What if I quit and then regret it? That fear held me back for years. I was so focused on just getting through the current week that I couldn't see a path forward, and that is the trap. When you are desperate, every decision feels like life or death. You can take smart risks because the downside is too scary. But once I got my finances under control, once I built that cash buffer, once I paid off my debt, everything changed. Suddenly I could take a swing, and if I missed, so what? I de-learn something and move on. And that is the freedom that financial stability gives you. It is not about being rich. It is about having enough breathing room to take chances. Another piece of this that I don't think gets talked about enough is the skill expansion that naturally comes with running a side hustle. My engineering career has sharpened a very specific set of tools: technical problem solving, project management, communication, execution. All those skills are highly respected and highly compensated in the industry I work in. But starting a side hustle forces me to step into a completely different area where none of those skills alone are enough. Now I am learning marketing, video creation, content strategy, audience building. These are skill sets that live completely outside the traditional engineering world. And what is powerful about that is it gives me multiple ways to create value and multiple ways to generate income. The more skills you build that can produce revenue, the less dependent you become on any single job. You start compounding your life in a way that looks unimaginable years down the road. I think about it like investing. If you put all your money into one stock, you are taking a huge risk. But if you diversify across different assets, you reduce your risk and increase your potential for long-term growth. The same logic applies to your skills. If you only have one skill set that generates income, you are putting all your eggs in one basket. But if you develop multiple income-producing skills, you create options for yourself. You become more resilient. And that diversification of skills, just like diversification of investments, will create opportunities later in your life that you simply don't have right now. Trust me, I've seen it happen in my own life. The skills I've learned from this YouTube channel have already opened doors I never expected. I've met people I never would have met, learned things I never would have learned, and built confidence I never had before. And I want to be really honest with you guys about something. A lot of people ask me why I am still doing side hustles when I already make a good salary from engineering. And the answer is simple. I am building more freedom. I don't want to leave any untapped potential on the table. I don't want to look back 10 years from now and wonder what could have been. I see too many people in their 30s and 40s who wake up one day and realize they coasted through their 20s, they played it safe, they stayed in their lane, and now they feel stuck. They feel like they missed their chance to build something, and I don't want that to be me. I want to look back and know that I gave it everything I had, that I tried, that I took the risks and put in the work. And even if some of my side hustles don't work out, which is totally possible, I still have learned so much along the way. That knowledge and those skills can never be taken away from me. Let me give you a practical example of how this plays out in real life. Last year I started hosting dogs on Rover. Nothing glamorous, right? I just take care of dogs when people are out of town. But that side hustle taught me so much about customer service, scheduling, managing bookings, and building a reputation. It also gave me some extra cash, which I used to upgrade my recording equipment for this channel. Then that equipment helped me make better videos, which led to more views and more subscribers, and now this channel is starting to grow, and who knows where it will be a year from now. That is the power of compounding. One small side hustle leads to another, which leads to another. You just have to start somewhere. You don't need the perfect plan. You just need to take one step forward and then another. And here is the thing that really changed my mindset. I stopped thinking about side hustles as extra money and started thinking about them as investments in my future self. Every hour I spend working on this channel or on Rover or learning a new skill is an hour that is building my future income potential. It is an hour that is making me more valuable and more resilient and more free. And that shift in perspective made all the difference. When you see side hustles as drudgery, something you have to do because you are broke, you are going to hate every minute of it. But when you see them as building blocks for the life you want to live, suddenly they become exciting. You look forward to the work because you know where it is leading. I want to end this video with a challenge for anyone watching who has been on the fence about starting a side hustle. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. It doesn't exist. I started this channel with zero experience and zero subscribers. I started hosting dogs with zero reviews. I started my journey to financial literacy with zero knowledge about money. You don't need to have everything figured out. You just need to start. Pick one thing, one skill. You want to learn one side hustle. You want to try one small step forward and then take it. Don't overthink it. Don't wait until you feel ready because you never feel ready. Just start and then keep going, keep learning, keep adapting. And before you know it, you look back and be amazed at how far you've come. So if you want to hear more about my side hustles and want monthly updates on what is working and what is not, hit that like button and subscribe. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.